What's up guys, this is LordSevein. Let's talk about the Nintendo Switch. Last night, Nintendo held their press conference for their new console, and there was a lot of cool stuff announced. However, by the end of the presentation, I came away with a couple concerns. Now before we begin, I just want to say, I'm what you would call a Nintendo fan, even though I'm primarily a PC gamer. I've owned almost all their consoles, all the way back to the original NES, and some of my favorite franchises are on Nintendo systems, so I really want the Nintendo Switch to do well. That being said, I do have a couple of issues with what they presented. Right now, my biggest concern with the Nintendo Switch is battery life. I think people need to look at the Nintendo Switch as a mobile platform first and foremost. I think some people will definitely use it with a TV, however, being able to game on the go is what's going to sell the system. Especially when you consider that for a lot of people, Nintendo consoles are a secondary gaming device. They already have a PC or a PS4 or an Xbox, and they use the Nintendo consoles to supplement their gaming. Now, the Switch was announced with a 2 to 6 hour battery life, with about 3 hours of battery life when playing Zelda Breath of the Wild. My new Nintendo 3DS XL gets about 4 to 5 hours of constant play. The loss of about 2 hours of game time may not seem that significant, but when you're constantly tethered to a charging cable, the device becomes a lot less mobile. 3 hours is right on the edge of being portable. Any less than that, and it's really not portable at all. You can kind of take it and maybe have one little play session on the bus to school or something like that, but you're not going to be able to take it and have multiple gaming sessions. You're going to have to charge in between. This is especially important when traveling or going to someone's house. You're gonna need to be near a charging outlet, and that can be a little frustrating. I'm hoping there are accessories available that can boost this battery life significantly, like there are for the 3DS. My next biggest concern is the online service and Nintendo's account system. Nintendo announced that there will be a pay-per-month online service for online play starting in the fall. Switch owners will get a free trial for the first couple of months, and then in the fall, they'll have to pay each month to be able to access the online services for almost all their games. This is similar to PlayStation Plus or Xbox Live. Now, as primarily a PC gamer first, paying for online system has always seemed a little weird to me. It made sense in the early 2000s when online play wasn't ubiquitous. The cost of running servers like that would be fairly expensive. But in 2017, almost every game has some sort of online component, and being forced to pay $60 a year in order to access those online features is not ideal. This is especially true in games like Splatoon, Mario Kart 8, Smash Brothers, or the rumored Pokemon game coming to the Switch this fall. I think most would argue that the online component to these games are essential to being able to play them, and having to pay to access them is a little rough. Nintendo also doesn't have the best track record when it comes to online systems. In fact, they have no track record because they're so far behind their competitors. They say the system will have online play, voice talk, and the ability to set playdates, but the quality of these features are going to have to be pretty damn good in order for it to justify the cost, and not just be a price gouge for wanting to play online. Also, Nintendo's account system has sucked for a long time. As it is right now, all your purchases are tied to your device, so if you lose it, you're going to have to call Nintendo in order to switch it over. Now, they did introduce a Nintendo ID system that partially ties things to it, but it's leagues behind a true account system like Steam or PlayStation or Xbox Live. I would feel a lot better if this online service also included a true account system, so I don't have to worry about my purchases. The next biggest issue I see is the launch titles. As of what we know right now, the Switch is launching with only one real game, and that's Zelda. The next system-selling game that's going to come out is Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, and that's on June 28th, almost 3 months after the Switch releases. Other games that were shown like Mario Odyssey, Fire Emblem Warriors, Skyrim Remastered, Sonic 2017, Xenoblade 2, all these games either got nebulous fall 2017 release dates or no release date at all. I don't know about you, but I don't think a lot of people are going to be comfortable dropping $300 on a system that isn't going to have any real games beyond Zelda for months at a time. Nintendo seems to be pretty bad about this lately. They'll release a new console and there won't be anything for it for almost a year. And it's usually not until a couple years after it releases that it finally has a decent library of games. Now, I don't expect Nintendo to have 14 system-selling games available right at launch. I think that's a little much to ask. However, having more than just one good game on release is probably a good idea. Now, we may get some more information in the coming days about games that will be available at launch that might help push people in that direction, but as of right now, it's just Zelda, and that's not good. Another concern of mine is the prevalence of re-releases and ports for the Switch. Now, I'm probably in the minority here, but I actually have a Wii U, and I actually have quite a few games for it as well. A good number of the anticipated titles for the Switch just seem to be ports or re-releases of existing Wii U titles. Now, these games might have some updated content and updated visuals, but overall, it's pretty much the same game that I already own. That's a little frustrating for someone who's been invested in the previous system, and a lot of the games that we're getting are kind of the same thing. Likewise, I bought several virtual console titles for the Wii U and 3DS. Am I going to have to buy those again? Are they going to offer some sort of upgrade for a couple of dollars? I really don't want to repurchase and re-download Donkey Kong Country for the third time. Although Nintendo does that a lot, so I don't really know what I'm expecting. I'm just hoping that Nintendo shows some love to the people who've supported them in the previous generation, especially when it comes to the re-releases and the Virtual Console. My last concern is with availability. Now, I don't know why Nintendo does this, but whether it's Amiibo, Collector's Edition games, or the consoles themselves, Nintendo always seems to have a problem getting the product in the hands of the consumer, and I don't really get it. It was a thing when the Wii launched back in 2006, and it's a thing today. Anything beyond base games and base consoles is really hard to get, so if you're trying to get this on launch day, you may run into some availability problems. We've already heard from GameStop employees that they're only getting 20 to 25 at launch. So if you're wanting to pick this up on March 3rd, here's to hoping you won't have any issues getting a hold of it. And those are my biggest concerns with the Nintendo Switch as it stands right now. Over the next month, we'll likely get quite a bit more information, and hopefully they'll address some of these issues. I don't know about you, but I'm pretty excited about the Switch. I'll probably pick one up at some point, maybe not at launch, but at some point. But I'm curious, are you guys excited by the Switch? Are you going to pick one up at launch? If not, what are you waiting for? Is there a particular game you're waiting to release before you buy it, or are you looking for a particular number of games? Let me know in the comments. I'm curious what everyone else's reaction to this is. If you like this video, make sure to give it a like. I appreciate all the support, and I'll see you guys later. Peace.